plaintiff, Warren Finley, dated the defendant's mother in 1975 and was with her when she got pregnant with the defendant. Warren says after the defendant was born, his mother pushed Warren out of his life, but they reconnected earlier this year. And now Warren wants a paternity test to find out the truth. Defendant Willie Price says he was raised by the man he thought was his father. But after his mother died, that man distanced himself from Willie. Willie claims he later learned that Warren may be his father, so he's eager to learn the truth today.
All right, and today we're here for a paternity test. So start with some background from you, sir.
I met Willie's mom in 1975. We dated for 10 months. I stayed with her throughout her pregnancy. On the day he was born, I didn't find out till the next day. I found out and I tried to contact her. She wouldn't talk to me. I called her on a daily basis and she wouldn't talk to me. And eventually, I just
Had she told you it was your child?
I was with her for the whole 10 months, Your Honor.
No, I said, but had she told you it was your child?
No.
Okay. But you just assumed.
I was with her I got her pregnant.
All right, I'm sorry. I've asked you a couple of times and you keep telling me you was with her. And so good enough, I'll go with that. But let's see what happened over the years.
Yes, sir.
Because if you were with her, like you continue to say, he has to be your son. So I'm glad to know that we're going to be able to get that in writing today, hopefully. Let's see. Tell me what went on after she would not return your call. Did you ever talk with her?
I never talked with her since that date.
Ever in life?
Right. Eventually, I moved to California.
And you believed you had a son with her?
Yes, sir.
You didn't try?
I tried to see her. She wouldn't let me see him.
Did you try? All right, how about the court? Because how old are you, sir?
I was 21 when I had the baby.
And how old are you now?
67.
And you've never tried in all those years, 45 years, to petition the court to get visitation for the child you presume was yours?
I never did.
Why not?
I just did not.
Okay.
On the day he was born, I didn't find out till the next day. I found out and I tried to contact her. She wouldn't talk to me. I called her on a daily basis and she wouldn't talk to me.
Did you ever talk with her?
I never talked with her since that date.
Ever in life?
Right.
And you believed you had a son with her?
Yes, sir.
Defendant Willie Price says he always believed the man who raised him was his father. But after his mother died, he learned the plaintiff may be his father. So he took a DNA test today to find out the truth.
When did you connect with Mr. Price?
March of this year.
How?
His auntie called me and gave me his phone number. We talked.
You called him?
Yes.
Good.
We talked, we got together, found out that our birthdays were the same date.
So you wanted to make sure it was over 18, whatever it is. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir. Let me get some background from you. That's the first thing he asked you, wasn't it? Yeah. What's your birthday? Well, how old are you? Okay, well, fine, you cool. As long as you're over 18, come on. Go ahead.
So, Your Honor, I was born and raised by my mother and raised in a household with her and my dad. When I say dad, I mean the man who has raised me all these years. Mm-hmm. And you know, we was in a household where my mom was never with anyone else, and so she passed away on me in 2016. And when that happened, the man who the strong family bond and that we had, he just kind of checked out, if you will.
How old were you? That's in 16. You were how old?
About 40 years old. 40, 39.
You have siblings?
Yes. I have a half brother, which is by my mother.
He had a relationship with?
Yeah, he was raised in a household by this man as well.
Did he also abandon his relationship
Absolutely.
with him?
Absolutely. So and that's where it threw us all off. Was what started getting me to wondering about things, because it was never like that. We were thick as thieves, in an undivorced household.
You didn't have any of the messiness that the funerals sometimes bring into the family?
No.
Out of stress and other things?
And I had figured that, Your Honor, maybe because people grieve in different rates and different times. So, but what got me more to thinking, when I went and got my Social Security card about 2018, they asked me a couple of security questions, and a couple of them was, what's your father's middle and last name? And so I answered them, and when she was done, she stated that I had got those wrong. And at that point, I was shocked. I was kind of,
2 years after he had disappeared.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked and kind of flabbergasted. He hadn't all the way disappeared. It was just he had kind of checked out and stuff. So later on that day, I went and seen him, and I told him what had happened at the Social Security office, and he just got super defensive. I'm your father. I've been raising you. I was like, whoa, that's not what I'm saying. But, I started, it's a little much, okay, Your Honor. So in the time of this was happening, I kind of subjected to myself some things, kind of got rebellious, if you will, and I ended up going to prison for a little time in about 2019.
How you gonna get rebellious at 40?
Yeah, tell me.
Go ahead.
I know.
Everybody else cleaning their life up.
I know.
They done did 20 or 15, come home and they straight now. They done smoked themselves hard away, so now they got their pacemaker and they done changed their life around.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I guess you would say I was still in part of my grieving, if you will.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
and so when I
come home and how.
And so when I had went on to prison, that's when I realized he not only had checked out, this man had left the building. I mean, I couldn't no contact with him, no nothing.
You had a strong bond.
Super strong. And so everything's just kind of, while I sat in there, I had a lot of time to think and thought process things. And so I asked my grandmother at the time living, I said, is this man my real father? And my grandmother told me, that's a talk we'll have when you get out. And so at that point, I knew there was some substance to it. And unfortunately, she had passed away 4 months before I had got out. And so I was thinking that family secret or whatever it was going to be gone until I was released, and I had got a hold to my auntie, and I had asked her, because she kind of was the glue of the family, and sure enough, she had told me that he was not, and that's when she had mentioned Mr. Finley over here was my actual dad. And so at that point, she had got us into contact with each other, like Mr. Finley had said. I went and visited him, realized our birthdays are the same. So if he is my father, I would like to at least get my name changed to honor him while he's still living, and try to salvage what I can, because we're both up there, getting up there in age, and God willing, you never know how long we have.
Have you had a relatively close relationship? How often do you talk?
So far, it's good. It's
how often? Monthly, every few months?
No, it's been like maybe it'll be within a couple of weeks. I work. I live in a different city than he does. So when I do travel down, I'll come see him and stuff. But it's been a short time from April when we first met till now, Your Honor.
And no one else has said that other than your aunt?
And so with that,
got no other answers from anywhere else.
So all of a sudden, here we are. My grandmother, she had 12 kids, so I have like 7 aunts, 6 uncles, or 5 uncles. I'm sorry. And so now that my auntie has brought this to bay, I got a couple uncles speaking out, saying, "Well, I've always knew." My mother forbid the family. So I believe when I was born, she had got with my assumed dad, that I assumed my dad, and forbid the family to ever say anything to me, and obviously forbid Warren to even know who I was. But now I have family members coming forth saying, well, we knew, we kind of always knew. When I met Mr. Warren, my baby pictures, I never understood, because he's light-skinned and my mother's light-skinned and I was born pretty light-skinned as well, but my assumed father, he's kind of more of a darker man, so that never made no sense until I met him, and I was like, oh wow. I went and visited him, realized our birthdays are the same. So if he is my father, I would like to at least get my name changed to honor him while he's still living, and try to salvage what I can. Because we're both up there, getting up there in age, and God willing, you never know how long we have.
Defendant Willie Price says he always believed the man who raised him was his father. But after his mother died, he learned the plaintiff may be his father. So he took a DNA test today to find out the truth.
Who had you spoken with regarding Mr. Price, if anyone, before he contacted you? Didn't you hear any of this gossip?
No, I hadn't seen.
You had moved from the city, perhaps, I guess?
Yes, I had moved up to Oakland, California, and I stayed out there until 2017, and I got a phone call from Willie in March, and that's when we met for the first time.
You seemed petrified, and I didn't think I was that scary. Pacing your word, you saying your words very slowly. You're kind of looking like you're worried about what I'm gonna say next. I didn't went in on you as much as I'm gonna do, and that is you waited until you was over 18. All right. I don't know if you can tell by my facial expressions, but it's not good news. He's not your father. Oh, wow. Mm-mm. Good luck to you, gentlemen.
Great brother. Love you, man.
Yeah.
Always be there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to continue contact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How we get this figured out then?
Okay.
All right.
All right.